Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight.
Former BEC Chairman Leslie Miller reacts to that shocking BPL audit.
2 women face jail time now after smuggling illegal drugs into the country.
Police need your help to solve the case of several missing persons.
Our news is brought to you by Alive, the nation's newest and best LTE network.
Good to be alive.
Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Joaquin. Topping news tonight, former executive chairman of the Bahamas Electricity Corporation, Leslie Miller, is calling for heads to roll over that Ernst & Young audit that uncovered the theft of millions of dollars from the publicly owned company. Jasmine Brown reports.
Miller says he's shocked by the reports coming out of the power company as he insists it's never should have been allowed to happen.
What happened to the money and why was that done? Why was the parameters put in place to prevent that from being done?
BPL fired 3 people yesterday after the government and BPL board received an audit into the accounts department conducted by Ernst & Young, which was called in to investigate the alleged theft of more than $2 million. The audit reportedly outlines exactly how much money has gone missing and areas in which controls need to be tightened. In a statement released last night, Chair of the BPL Board of Directors Darnell Osborne said the investigation is not over. She insisted that over the ensuing weeks, based on the evidence, there will be further terminations as management properly considers the evidence gathered. She said persons terminated Wednesday are not the only ones, adding that any individuals who may be higher up in the organization and found to be culpable will be terminated. However, Miller says he believes this goes beyond terminations.
You would hope that the funds were taken from BEC. Would be gotten back by BEC.
Miller says what was most shocking to him is that the right checks and balances did not appear to be in place to prevent the alleged theft. The former BEC chairman insisted it would not have happened under his watch.
The board that we had put together, I think those things certainly didn't happen under our watch. So you can conclude for yourself who was doing what was necessary to ensure that the corporation funds were dealt with in the proper manner.
The Bahamas Electrical Workers Union has threatened industrial action over the terminations. However, Miller says the union needs to hold off on action until it has all the facts.
I would think that depends on the circumstances. I mean, if people were involved in a situation that was unbecoming to the corporation and funds were missing and they would have been a part of that, then obviously the board and the corporation has the right to take whatever corrective measures are necessary to combat those situations. I don't see them raising too much hell about that.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
2 young women, one from Suriname and the other from Guyana, were charged in the magistrates court today on drug-related charges. April Sands was in court and has the details.
25-year-old Aisha Graham of Guyana was charged with possession of dangerous drugs and importation of dangerous drugs today after police say she was found with cocaine in her hotel room on Tuesday. Graham, who appeared before Magistrate Janine Weech Gomez, pleaded guilty to both charges. According to police reports on August 15th at 3:55 p.m., acting on information, officers went to the Grand Central Hotel on East Street and asked to search room 44, where Graham was staying. Officers searched her suitcase where they found 9 pounds of cocaine. Graham told the court that she bought the drugs to the Bahamas because she lost her mother and has to take care of her brother and sister. However, Gomez called her actions dangerous and reckless. She sentenced Graham to 2 years at the Department of Corrections if she fails to pay a fine of $10,000. The magistrate ordered that Graham be deported after she pays the fine or serves her time. Also charged today was 23-year-old Nicole Aquella from Suriname, who pleaded guilty to possession of dangerous drugs with the intent to supply and importation of dangerous drugs. According to police reports, officers on duty at Lyndon Pinling International Airport observed the defendant, who was acting in a suspicious manner. Officers searched her suitcase where they discovered in the lining a quantity of cocaine. The woman was taken into custody. Officers told the court that on August 16th, the defendant was interviewed and admitted that while in Suriname, she was given drugs to be carried to a hotel where someone would collect the drugs. The mother of 2 young children told the court that she was going through some difficult times in her life. She said her grandmother's house recently burned down. The magistrate called her actions reckless and dangerous. She sentenced the young woman to 2 years at the Department of Corrections or a $10,000 fine. Reporting for our news, I'm April Sands.
The family of an elderly man is still seeking answers over a year after he went missing. However, the family of Charles Lightbourne is not alone. Police held a press conference today to discuss the status of several other missing person cases, including young siblings and a teen girl. Giorgio Bain reports.
Police here at the Central Detective Unit need your help to solve the case of several missing persons, including the elderly and a brother and sister.
On Saturday, the 12th of August, the family of Felicia Lewis and Orion Knowles, both 14-year-old male and female brother and sister, they were reported missing. They are still outstanding. They were last seen in the area of West Bay Street. We are definitely concerned. We have a lot of concern for those two because it's unusual that we have brother and sister reported missing.
Those teens join a list of several others reported missing in recent months. Dominique Johnson, age 13 of Farrington Road, was reported missing on August 12th. She was last seen wearing a leopard print dress. This is not the first time the teen was reported missing, according to police.
When you find an individual who goes missing from the home, especially a juvenile, goes missing once or twice, that shows a red flag.
Police also want your help finding 60-year-old Derek Mackey of Winton Meadows. Mackey, who has a disability, was last seen in the Marathon area. Then there's 41-year-old Brian Burrows of Little Hall, Key Abaco, who was reported missing on July 5th. Police are asking local fishermen to be on the lookout for Burrows. Meanwhile, 33-year-old Nathaniel Higgs of Upper Bogue, Eleuthera, has been missing for 2 years. The agonizing search also continues for 90-year-old Charles Lightbourne, affectionately called Teddy. August 6 made 1 year since he was first reported missing. Lightbourne's grandson, Martin Lundy II, says it's been tough.
Well, he was very cantankerous. He was a grumpy old man. But he tried to be very honest. He was very Catholic.
Lightbourne's loved ones recently celebrated his 90th birthday, an occasion described as a blow to the chest for the family, which is constantly reminded of his absence. While Lundy admits that the family has not given up hope, an incident that took place just before his grandfather's 89th birthday still stands out to family members.
Someone went on his property and broke a shovel over his head. They threw rocks at him. They beat the content of his left eye out of his head. I wish I had photos of those to show you, but it was quite grotesque, and they left him for dead. The individual then cut the phone lines to his house and stole a TV. He had an older model flat screen TV, but left $300 cash, which he had on his nightstand. So I'm not inclined to believe that it was actually a regular robbery.
According to Lundy, it's hard for the family to believe that both incidents are not related.
It's very clear that whoever attacked him intended to kill him. Even then, there was very little police support. Police came, the crime scene, which was outside, police came, I think, maybe 72 hours, 48 to 72 hours after.
Lundy said what has been even more surprising to him has been the involvement of police in the search.
I'll just say question mark, that'll be my response. If I could verbalize a question mark, it would be that. Because I do not feel like we had a lot of police support.
Lundy had this final plea on behalf of his family.
He is missed a lot, actually. So to all those watching, this could be your grandfather. This could be your father. So any help whatsoever will be appreciated.
Lundy urged anyone with information on his grandfather's whereabouts to contact the family at 324-6587, 677-2337, 455-0228, or email granddaddymissing1927@hotmail.com. This as police ask for the public's help in finding all of the missing persons. Reporting for our News, I'm Georgia Bain.
Thanks, Giorgio. Well, a town hall meeting at Garventines Primary School was tense at times last night as residents of Tall Pines vented their frustrations over the New Providence landfill.
Let's get with it and get to the 22nd century.
Just one of the irate residents of Tall Pines voicing frustration with the main issue they've had to deal with for years, fire at the New Providence landfill and the smoke that lingers for days. The town hall meeting put on by Tall Pines MP Don Saunders gave those residents the opportunity to put questions as well as recommendations to the professionals. But at times, pent-up aggression, not just over the landfill fires, got the best of some.
You're talking about air quality. In China and other industrial areas, they have designated zones with trees that filter the air. We need to get ready. We need mandatory designated air cleaning parks. Okay? It don't take much.
These residents also didn't forget tests done shortly after the last massive fire back in March. Some, like this Tall Pines resident, didn't necessarily have his question answered.
The March fire, in terms of what was the air quality like, how did it impact the residents of Tall Pines, and as it relates to the screening that you mentioned, what is the frequency over the next 5 years? Is it just going to be where you come in, you do some screening, you get some information, and then you go and sit on someone's desk, and then, God forbid, we have another fire, and then you'll come back with the same thing? Is that, hopefully that's not going to happen.
I don't know what you're asking, but I don't have the answer because I don't recall whether or not the testing actually gave me that kind of figure. And was not just on particulates. So I can't answer the question at the moment, but I can say that the program that's being looked at for air quality monitoring will give us a number of things to monitor for. It gives us a number and will tell us what the air quality is every single day.
Government has laid out short and long-term plans to address the landfill issue. But it wasn't just the landfill fires residents have been dealing with. Victoria Gardens resident Shanita Stubbs took issue with an area that has somehow become a car dump.
And my concern is not only it's unsightly there at the subdivision where people have their homes and really nice homes. I'm concerned if the old fluids and so forth and so on in those vehicles, if they don't somehow seep into the ground because we use a well. And I don't know if it can contaminate the water, so that's my main concern. Is there anything that you and your team can do?
I'm told that attempts were made to talk about the owner about it, and some protection of the fencing was done, but I know that's not enough. So I can let you know that tomorrow, and this is why we wanted to have this meeting, we were refreshed about these concerns, and we would raise it with the minister and address it right away. So I'm aware of that.
And then there are residents like Don Williams, who's been seeking to get relief from smoke emanating from an illegal coal production site.
I'm not going to give you a false hope that I can close the place down like that. I can't. I can close the place down using the police. Like I said.
When can you close it down with the police? Can you call the police tomorrow morning and close it down? Can you call them now and close it down?
No,
because here's the thing. You go home, you say you live in Tall Pines. You go home, I don't know how you have to sleep. But I have to close up my entire house. I have to keep on industrial air purifiers in my house. And I have to hope my daughter don't get sick again. 3 days of being out of the country, she is perfectly fine after seeing doctors.
Jubilee Gardens residents have also had to deal with random large garbage bins that haven't been emptied.
And there seems to be another dump site brewing there. I don't know whose idea it was to put those 3 garbage bins there, but they have been there for months and have never been collected. I have talked to the garbage collectors, come to the corner. I said, why don't you empty the garbage? They said, that's private. I mean, it's spilling out into the road, the dogs fur down. I mean, it is terrible. I mean,
when I was in Jubilee today, I noticed it was there and I asked, I am not sure if they moved it. I'm going to send someone there, but the intention is, I'm going to say this, the intention is that we're going to remove those garbage bins from there, because what we found is that people use the garbage bins on the parks as their personal garbage bins when their private garbage bins are full. So to relieve that and to kill that dead, we're going to move those bins tomorrow and they're not going to be there. All right?
Still to come on our news, what you should know before next week's total solar eclipse. Stick with us.